What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about the Bulls and the Houston Rockets game reaction, in which the Bulls fumbled the bag and delivered some really upsetting things in this game. Now, there's a lot to get through, and I'm sure I'm going to forget a couple of things. That just seems to be how it goes these days, but we're going to discuss as much as we can in this video. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Bulls, obviously their game today, your player of the game, and what do we do next against the Boston Celtics. We lost this game 127 to 117. Finally a chance to get to 500, All it took was this one win if we could get it. But we let it slip away. And we need to talk about why we let it slip away. And the first thing I think we need to discuss is obviously the mentality issues for the Chicago Bulls. I think that is the key thing here that we need to talk about. We need to talk about the ejections as well from Dillon Brooks and DeMar DeRozan. So, obviously, throughout the game, if you were watching the game, the Bulls got very frustrated with the lack of foul calls that were given compared to the Houston Rockets, or whatever the case may be. I don't necessarily know if it was truly warranted to get that frustrated in which DeMar DeRozan committed the foul that he did. Because if you look at the free throw discrepancy, I'm pretty sure for most of that game we had more free throws than the Houston Rockets. But either way, obviously there were a couple of calls that weren't given for both teams, and DeMar DeRozan got frustrated. He committed a very hard foul on Jalen Green, in which Jalen Green did get hurt by the play. Dillon Brooks came up, obviously, made contact with DeRozan. DeRozan, turning around, gives him a bit of an elbow. Again, I don't necessarily think that was the biggest of deals. In all honesty, it looked like DeMar DeRozan didn't even know what was happening when he hit the elbow. Their digs got a bit physical. They both got, in the heat of the moment type of situation. And they both get ejected from the game. And I think this is a big mentality thing for the Bulls, in all honesty. I am going to have a little bit of a go here at DeMar DeRozan, because I think there's a difference between, getting frustrated and getting ejected. There's a big difference there. And personally, I think the foul that he committed on Jalen Green wasn't a flagrant 2. They said that was a flagrant 2. I respectfully disagree with that call. But all the things that kind of added up to that, the ref probably just said, hey, look, he did this, this, and this. He's worthy of an ejection. Even if it's not a flagrant 2 foul on that specific play, everything that he did leading up to that, we're just going to make that a flagrant 2 and he gets ejected. Dillon Brooks also got ejected from the game as well. And, yeah. But we can't really talk about what happened with the Houston Rockets. At the end of the day, they won the game. Dillon Brooks made his impact well before he got ejected. He had 20 points in the game. He was really elite defensively today. He made a big difference. But we needed this game. And we needed our leader to stay in the game. And that's why I'm frustrated. There are a lot of people saying, good job, DeRozan, bring physicality back. That's it. That's what we need. We need someone to fight back for the Bulls. And I get that. Of course, you want someone to step up and, say, hey, look, our entire team is getting hacked every possession. There's something that we need to do about this, but not to the point of getting ejected from the game. I'm sorry. There has to be a line drawn somewhere in the sand right there. And DeMar DeRozan did cross the line and he got ejected from the game, and that hurt this Bulls team at the end of the day. He wasn't having the best game, DeRozan, but we lost our composer in the fourth quarter. We lost the guy that could deliver in the fourth quarter. And where do you think we lost the game? The first quarter, yes, but in the fourth quarter, we let the Houston Rockets run away with the game. And I don't know if that happens if DeRozan's in the game. So that's a big, big no-no from DeRozan, a big no-no from the Bulls. Again, there has to be a line. I'm all good with DeRozan trying to say, hey, look, we're not getting fouls here. That was a hard foul, and I don't think that foul respectively was a flagrant 2. But everything else led to his ejection, and I'm just not okay with that, and I just don't think that was the right thing to do. This game meant too much to us. Sure, if, we were well into the playoffs and, you wanted to make that type of statement, maybe I'd be okay with it. But when we're trying to get to 500, when we're trying to get to the 8th seed, when you look at how Philadelphia lost to the Phoenix Suns and that gives you an opportunity to get closer to them, you blow it away when you get ejected from that game. So you could blame it on DeRozan, you could blame it on the refs, you could blame it on both. But that was a big mentality drop. And from there, the Bulls never do well when other teams get into their head. We saw it with the Warriors a couple of the first game when they got into our heads physicality-wise. We just produced one of the worst second-half performances you could ever imagine. The Bulls obviously got very frustrated in this game against the Houston Rockets. That led to our disadvantage. We don't do well when our heads are out of the game. We don't do well when teams try to get at us mentally. You know, Draymond Green did it. Dillon Brooks did it today. Jalen Green, you know, did it towards the end of the game. They got into our heads. And that is the mentality factor. And another mentality issue, when we are one game below 500 and we do have a chance to get to 500, that's when we produce our worst performances. I don't know if anyone's actually noticed this, but anytime we actually get an opportunity to be, you know, to get away from the minus 500 mark, to be on a neutral record, that's when we fumble the bag the most. It's when we're actually closest to actually getting to 500 or even above 500. We don't get anywhere near it because we can't actually get to the first step, and that's getting a neutral record. We get oh so close, but we always miss the mark. That's another sign of a mentality issue with this Bulls team. So yes, mentality played a factor in this game. But now let's turn to obviously the things that we did wrong in this game. First and foremost, bench production, disappointing compared to the Houston Rockets. I don't have the stats with me. Maybe I can find the stats a little bit along the way, but I think it's clear as day we got dominated from bench points. And look, Houston are a young team. Young teams play a lot of guys. Young teams play a lot of guys a lot of minutes. And today, that came back to bite us. Let's take a look at the bench points while we're at it. 17 points for Landale. That's a joke in itself, but there you go. 17 points for Landale. That's 14 points for Green. So if my math serves me correctly, that's 31 points. I think it's 31 points. 15 for Aaron Holiday. So that's 46 points. 3 points for Reggie Bullock Jr. So I've already lost the math. So hold on. 17, 14, 31, 46 with Aaron Holiday. Then Bullock, 49 points off the bench for the Houston Rockets. I think my math is wrong, but still, a lot of points off the bench for the Houston Rockets. Kobe White had 13 points off the bench, 9 points for Drummond, so that's 22 points, then 6, so 28 points off the bench for the Bulls. 28 points ain't bad off the bench, but we gave up almost 50. You see where the difference is? We gave up over 100 points in the third quarter. Do you see that as well? So bench points is a big thing. The second biggest thing is our defensive work was absolutely horrible. I was saying it all game, so I'm going to be like a broken record here. You're supposed to take something away from the Houston Rockets. You can't let Houston dominate you in the paint, dominate you in isolation, dominate you in mid-ranges, dominate you from the three-point line. We gave them everything they wanted and then some. You had to take something away from Houston. They are a young team, and they almost blew the lead. They almost blew the lead in the fourth quarter. They almost blew their lead in the second quarter. So they were willing to give the lead away to the Bulls. We saw that throughout the whole game. But the Bulls gave nothing away. The Bulls didn't give, they didn't stop any of it. They didn't stop their threes. They didn't stop the ISO. They didn't stop the pick and rolls. They didn't stop the paint. They stopped nothing. And at the end of the day, you have to take something away from a young team. If you give them the confidence to just go and dominate you in every way, that's exactly what's going to happen. Young teams with confidence are often the teams you don't want to see with confidence. Because you could get high on confidence to the point where nearly everything falls in. You could go massively low on confidence and they give up big leads. The Bulls had to take something away and they didn't do it. So that's the biggest thing defensively that we did wrong. Offensively, I thought we were fine. I didn't have a problem with our offense today. Ayo was fantastic. Vucevic did good work. DeRozan, when he was playing, was all right. Dalen Terry had a good stat line. Kobe and Drummond did all right. Our offense wasn't the problem today. It was everything else that was the problem today. And maybe the rest did lose control of the game, but we got to take responsibility of what we did wrong. We can't blame the rest for everything. We gave up 127 points to the Houston Rockets. You cannot blame that on the referees. Yes, they lost control. Yes, you could blame them for small sections of the game. DeRozan ejection, a couple of calls that weren't given to us that could have made the game a bit closer. But 127 points is 127 points. We gave up so many points within the first 3 quarters, it was a joke. It's a laughing stock of a performance here from the Bulls defensively. I'm not putting that on the refs. The Bulls have to do better. The Bulls need to play better defense. We'll see what happens in the next game against Boston, but thank you for watching. My player of the game is Ayo, by the way. If I didn't make it clear, he was phenomenal. Like and subscribe if you are new. See you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.